Picture this, a cube, patrolling diligently, living its best geometric life. Suddenly, it spots you, the player cube, and like a nosy neighbor, it's all up in your space. This is AI, folks. Simple, effective, and just the right amount of annoying. Today, we're building this. It's not rocket science, more like cube science, but by the end, you'll have an enemy that patrols, detects, and chases. The trifecta of beginner AI. So, let's dive in and bring your game's enemies to life. Or at least, give them a solid work ethic. We start with a plane, nice, flat, and reliable. Let's name it ground, because every good game starts with solid ground beneath your feet. Now, let's add a cube and call it player. Give it a sleek blue material, because blue screams main character energy. Next, we'll give it a rigid body. Why? Because even cubes need physics to move. Attach the player controller script to it, and voila! Our cube is moving. Look at it go, like it just discovered freedom. Now, let's make sure the camera doesn't lose track of our star. We'll assign the player to the camera follow script, and there it is. The camera's keeping up. No paparazzi vibes here. Just a loyal follower. Time to introduce some drama. We'll duplicate the player cube and rename this one Enemy. Switch up the material to a menacing red because red just says, I'm here to ruin your day. And there you have it. Player versus enemy, blue versus red. Classic rivalry, ready to go. All right, before we dive into the script, let's talk about the plan. We're going to make our enemy patrol, and for that, we'll use waypoints. Think of these waypoints as little stops on the enemy's route, like the enemy's version of a daily commute. To make this work, we'll create a few points in the scene, and the enemy will move from one to the next, back and forth. It's kind of like a game of follow the leader, except the enemy's the one leading. The number of waypoints you create will determine the path your enemy takes. You can have just 2 or go wild with a whole bunch. It's totally up to you. We'll add these waypoints into our script, and the enemy will patrol between them. It's simple, but effective. Perfect for getting started. So, let's set it up. First, we have a public transform, waypoints to store all the points our enemy will patrol between. Think of it like a GPS for the cube. We also set a speed variable to 3f, giving the enemy a moderate pace. The current waypoint index starts at 0, because even AI needs a starting point. In the start method, we grab the rigid body component because we're moving the enemy with physics, not just teleporting it around. Now, the fun part, the fixed update method. We use this because we're working with rigid body, meaning we sync with the physics update, not the regular game frame rate. Each frame, the patrol method runs to handle movement. Inside patrol, we check if there are any waypoints. If not, the AI just chills. Then we calculate the direction to the next waypoint and move the enemy there using RB move position, making the movement smooth. Next, we check if we've reached the waypoint. If we're close enough, within 0.1 units, we update the current waypoint index to the next waypoint. When we hit the end of the list, we loop back to the beginning, keeping that patrol going. Finally, the onDraw Gizmos method helps us visualize everything in the editor by drawing red spheres at each waypoint and green lines connecting them. It's like a GPS map for the editor, making it easy to see the enemy's path. Neat, right? Next, create some empty game objects in the scene and call them waypoint 1, waypoint 2, etc. Now, grab these waypoints and assign them to the waypoints array in your AI controller script in the inspector. Gizmos should already be visible in the scene view. Red spheres for waypoints, green lines connecting them, like a little roadmap for our cube's journey. No need to hit play just yet. They'll show up as soon as you assign them. Now, test it out. If everything looks good, your AI should start patrolling smoothly. The cubes are on a mission, and so are you. We should add detection and chasing to give our AI a bit more personality. Because what's more relatable than a cube that suddenly decides to chase you like you owe it rent? To detect the player, we added the player in range method. This clever bit of logic checks the distance between the AI and the player using vector3 distance. If the player is within the detection range, set to 10 units here, the AI knows it's time to stop patrolling and start chasing. The detection range variable acts as the AI's vision, and you can tweak it easily in the inspector to make your enemy more or less observant. To make debugging easier, we also updated the onDraw Gizmos method to draw a yellow wire sphere around the AI. This sphere represents the detection range and shows up in the scene view. Think of it as a visual bubble that shows when you're in trouble. Once the player enters the detection range, the AI switches to the chase player. Method. It calculates the direction toward the player and smoothly moves toward them using rb.movePosition. No awkward teleporting or jittery movements, just a smooth, relentless pursuit like a cube with a grudge. With these updates, your AI now dynamically switches between patrolling and chasing, making it a formidable, albeit cubic, adversary. In future videos, we'll take this basic AI to the next level by exploring advanced techniques like NavMesh pathfinding, smarter decision-making, and more complex AI behaviors. Whether it's creating enemies that can navigate around obstacles or strategize their next move, we'll cover it all step by step. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated. Your support helps us create more content like this and bring even cooler game dev tutorials your way. See you in the next one.